This lesson is dividing radicals. In our first example, we have square root 15 divided by 2 square root 4. If you can square root, then square root. If not, leave it alone. So square root 15 cannot be square root, so I leave it alone. Square root 4 becomes this 2. One more time, square root 15 cannot be square root, so I leave it alone. This square root 4 in the bottom becomes this 2 over here. Okay, so bring this 2 over, and then square root 4 is this 2. Next, we multiply, so 2 times 2 gives me 4, and there's nothing to do, so we leave it alone. Okay, so this is our final answer, square root 15 over 4. Next example. Here, same thing. If we can square root, we square root. Square root 5 cannot be square root, so I leave it alone over here. This square root 125, I broke up into 25 and 5. One more time, the 125, I use 25 and 5 because I know that 25 can be square root. Okay, so bring the 4 over. The 125 is rewritten as 25 and 5. The reason I chose 25 and 5 is because the square root 25 can be square root. Okay, so this square root 5, bring it along over here. Bring the 4 over. Square root 25 is this 5. This square root 5 cannot, so I leave it alone. Anything that looks the same, we cancel. If we cannot cancel, we leave it alone. This square root 5 and this square root 5, they are the same square root 5, so they are being canceled. So all I have left is 1, and then 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, so this is the answer, 1 over 20. One more time, if I can square root, I square root. If I cannot, I leave it alone. If I can split up or break up the number so that one of the number can be square root, then do so. Okay, just like what I did here, 125 is separated into 25 and 5. Why 25 and 5? Because 25 can be square root, and then the other 5 right here cannot, so I leave it alone. Okay, next example. Here I have 2 square root 4, 3 square root 3. This square root 4 can be square root, which is 2. And then 3 square root 3, I bring it along. Okay, next, 2 times 2 gives me this 4. And then bring this 3 square root 3 along. Okay, so one more time. 2 is this 2. Square root 4 is this 2. The bottom, I can't do anything about it, so I just bring it along all the way through to this spot. And then 2 times 2 gives me 4. Okay, so this is our answer right here. This is our answer. However, we don't want any radical in the bottom, so we have to get rid of this radical. One more time. This is our answer. However, it looks better when there is no radical in the bottom, so we have to get rid of this radical. Again, one more time. This is our answer. However, we don't want radical in the bottom, so we need to get rid of this radical 3. Okay, so to get rid of this radical 3, we rewrite it again the second time. We rewrite it again. So I'm going to rewrite this part here. To get rid of this radical 3, I rewrite it again. Okay, exactly as is. Just the radical. Rewrite the radical again. Okay, so do not write this 3 again, just this radical 3. So rewrite this radical 3 again. Okay, and then whatever you do to one side, you also have to do to the other side as well. So one more time. To get rid of this radical, you must rewrite it again. Okay, so what I did was I copy this to here. Okay, and then I want to get rid of just this radical 3. Get rid of this radical 3, so I rewrite it again. Okay, and then whatever I did to one side, I got to do to the other side as well. So top and also bottom. Okay, again, only rewrite the radical. This 3 right here, there's no radical. This 3 right here, since there's no radical, so I leave this 3 alone. So I only rewrite this radical 3. Okay, so rewrite the radical, top and also bottom. Okay, and then after that, just multiply. So 4 times radical 3 is this 4 radical 3. This 3, bring it along, which is here. 3 times 3 is this radical 9. And then square root this radical 9 becomes this 3. Okay, and as you can see, the radical disappear in the bottom. Okay, so one more time, we don't want radical in the bottom. Okay, one more time. I rewrote this right here over here, and then I want to get rid of this radical 3, so I rewrite it again. So take this radical 3 and rewrite it top and bottom, just the radical 3. The number with no radical, I leave it alone. And then after that, I multiply. 4 times radical 3 is over here. This 3, bring it along. Radical 3 times radical 3 gives me radical 9. Okay? And then after that, square root this radical 9, which becomes this second 3. So this 3 right here was already from the problem in the beginning. 3, this 3, this 3, this 3 is the same number. I just bring it along. This square root 9 came from this square root 3 and square root 3. So square root 3 times square root 3 gives me square root 9. Square root 9 gives me this second 3. Okay? And then multiply the bottom. 3 times 3 gives me 9. And then the 4 square root 3 on top, just leave it as is. So our objective is to get rid of this radical if it's in the bottom. Okay, we don't want the radical to be in the bottom. It is okay to have the radical on top, but not in the bottom. Okay, so the only way to get rid of this radical is rewrite it again, top and also bottom. And then after that, multiply, square root, and as you can see, this radical disappear. And then there's no more radical in the bottom. Okay, so that is our objective. We don't want radical in the bottom. Okay.